Jen, you have, it's amazing. It's like every show, every live stream we do now, we have to bring up your friend, David Spevak, and uncover this very telling story regarding Haley Stevens and what exactly does the Israel lobby do? And guys, Jen and I have made it a point to emphasize to stop saying or referring to it as AIPAC. AIPAC is one of dozens of NGOs within the Israel lobby conglomerate.
Correct.
J Street, the ADL, DMFI, Kufi. These are all connected to the Israel cause, to the Zionist cause. So when people say AIPAC, just remember, there is a political gamesmanship being orchestrated on behalf of Israel. That's why we are highly critical of somebody like Ro Khanna, who has taken hundreds of thousands of dollars from J Street.
Same difference, people.
Same thing.
People don't know all of those groups. All of the money funnels to the JNF essentially goes to, it's all the same place. Israel is a very small country. So all of that money essentially is going to the same place. It doesn't matter what the name of the organization is, or if it is even an NGO. How about it's just law firms that are donating on behalf of certain lobbying interests? So the Israel lobby is massive. So everybody is now seemingly going to act like, oh, it's just AIPAC, sort of like how they're blaming Israel on Netanyahu. That way, the other aspects sort of go under the radar. So we're not going to let that happen. And J Street, you were just as ridiculous as anything.
Pretty much. Now, what makes this story extra juicy is that, and you've pointed this out, Jen, why was the Israel lobby on behalf of the Haley Stevens campaign reaching out to David Spevak to become a paid influencer for her campaign? What would be the motivation?
Did that? Oh my God, I'm so shocked. Guys, did you hear that? The Haley Stevens campaign is reaching out to content creators to pay them to be on her team.
Jen, wait a minute. Hold on. A timeout. I thought that Haley Stevens was growing on everybody. I thought people love to listen to her now all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's what she's doing. And that, as if that isn't such a talking point. She's growing on me. She's growing on me. She's growing
like a fungus, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Apparently, this is a confidential document. It's covered by an NDA. The only problem is I never actually signed an NDA.
Oops.
So, shh. Let's not tell anyone. Let's go through it together. It's an influencer brief from the Haley Stevens Senate campaign in Michigan. Right at the top, it says that the rate for this video is $1,500.
And you wonder why things are so fucked up. You wonder why you have people like Jack Posobiec on the conservative side going in front of cameras constantly, like on Piers Morgan, and saying, oh, it was definitely Tyler Robinson who assassinated Charlie Kirk. These people are paid to say this shit.
Yeah.
Exactly why people are now being paid to say Haley Stevens is the greatest senatorial candidate of all time. Listening to her talk.
She's a horrible candidate. She's a horrible candidate. I didn't know of her prior to the whole Andy Levin, AIPAC fiasco. And that was pretty particularly AIPAC going after Andy Levin, who he wasn't Zio enough. So I only know her since then, but I find her to be a horrible candidate.
Angela, we're going to get to Saeed shortly, but here's something that I want to be very clear about. And this is one of the reasons why I've always maintained that above all other reasons why the 2016 presidential primary in the Democratic Party was rigged against Bernie Sanders is because he was a vastly superior candidate to Hillary Clinton. And once he won the Michigan primary, he should have run away with the nomination because it was clear after the Miami debate that it was all him, that she was literally falling behind, and he was taking a secretariat-size lead over her because the crowds showed it. The impressions showed it. No matter how much they tried to change that momentum. Oh, Hillary's great, this and that. No, she's not. And just like all the money they're going to throw at this race and say, oh, Haley Stevens is great. No, Saeed is the vastly superior candidate.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of bigotry out there. There's a lot. I've always said the last line of defense that the Zion Nazis have is anti-Muslim bigotry. And that might work. And I am convinced, as I'm sure you are as well, that if he does win the primary, the establishment will do everything behind the scenes to hopefully facilitate Mike Rogers to victory. They do not want to take any chances of having a guy like Saeed in the Senate.
I think I think he's more than a good candidate. I actually think he's special because he isn't a politician. So of course, the fact that he is so like smooth, that's just a bonus. And we were talking about this earlier, Peter and I, like when someone like Mamdani comes along and I'm thinking, okay, he's got a little too Obama, a little too smooth. I don't know, whatever, you know, especially anybody who's in politics who's really smooth. But Abdul al-Said he's not a politician. He's a doctor. So this isn't somebody who's just trained to be charming. That's just the bonus, is that he happens to also be very knowledgeable and I find him charismatic. I think he's very smart and he's an excellent candidate. So, you know, that's just my take.
So apparently that's the going rate for a do-nothing candidate. Okay, so let's quickly get to the goal. So our job is to educate and show Michigan Democrats that Haley Stevens is leading the way to fight against Donald Trump and MAGA. Okay, so let's see what we got. So the first instruction says, share a proof point where Stevens has stepped up to fight MAGA. So sure, so just like Trump, Haley Stevens says that we can't afford universal health care, affordable housing, student debt relief. But when Congress had a chance to put limits on how long the president could keep U.S. involvement in Israel's war, she voted against those limits. Meanwhile...
And isn't that really all that it's about?
Yeah.
That's
all they have. That's all she has. What else does she have?
Nothing. She's just going to try to carry the money wave. But it also goes to show you how absurd it is at this point regarding how money moves through politics, particularly as part of the Israel lobby's efforts.
American taxpayers have paid at least $29 billion, with a B, supporting Israel's war. Funny how we're always broke until it's time to fund another war. So the next instruction says, make this personal. Why does stepping up to MAGA matter to me? This is fun, isn't it? Not signing an NDA and blowing it up? Love it. So it matters to me because I believe politics should be about earning people's support, not renting it for $1,500 like Haley over here. So if you're really the fighter in this race, you shouldn't need to pay influencers to convince people. You should be able to beat Abdul on your record. Abdul is talking about healthcare, affordable housing, getting money out of politics, and taking on corporate power. Haley's campaign is sending out influencer briefs that require an NDA. So now on to my favorite part. You do not need to endorse Stevens. So think about that for a second. They're basically saying, we don't need you to believe in Haley. We just need your followers to think you do. They're not buying your vote. They're leasing your credibility. And that's really why I wanted to show you this document, because if your record speaks for itself, you don't need influencer briefs. You don't need talking points to sign an NDA, a rate sheet. You need supporters. That's the difference. Vote Abdul. He is a person that will represent you, not corporate interests and not Israel.
Yay! I love him. He's so adorable. So I've always said that about any person, any candidate that has to pay influencers is a red flag by just that fact alone. Just that fact alone. If you have to pay influencers, you're a problem.
Yeah, and listen, it doesn't mean that having influencer support doesn't matter. I'm not going
But
to
they don't need to. If an influencer needs to be paid to support you, one, they're a whore, and two, you're a shitty candidate. Because if you are decent, then basically the content creators are going to want to support you because you're getting juice. Like, it's good. So if you have to pay for it, Jews.
Yeah, everybody has an opinion about that. Colin, I need the clip, please. If you think that you can't be bought, and again, the thing that is most telling about this election, which has always been the case.
Apparently,
we'll
this
talk
is a
about it with Sean
confidential
Lewis.
document. It's covered by an NDA.
You have to remember that is, no, I didn't do that.
No, I took it out and then it went back in.
I took it out. We took it out at the same time and then it came. No, it means that we both did, and then it popped up again because when one hits it to send it out, then the other hits it and it comes back in again. You get it?
Yes, I took it out. Thank you.
There is a portion, and we're not going to play it tonight. Maybe I'll address it on Saturday. But we've already talked about the fact that you've got Senator Fetterman talking about jumping ship over to the GOP.
Bon voyage.
Yeah. We also have Bill Maher sitting down for an interview with, I forgot the gentleman's name on CBS, but basically saying, yes, as of right this moment, because of where the Democratic Party is going, I plan to vote for J.D. Vance for president. This is Bill Maher. This is Mr. Always protect the Democratic Party line. No, it is protect corporate special interests and protect Israel above everything else. That's the priority.
It's protect capital. It's protect capital. The Israel is just, that's a bonus.
So if you need, and if you need any further proof about what David Spevak just said, here is the confirmation that he's 1,000% telling the truth.
Do you think there should be conditions on the aid the United States sends to Jerusalem and Tel Aviv?
Absolutely not. I'm not for conditions, particularly in this circumstance. That's what detractors of Israel are pushing for.
When is this? When you're going to show a clip, I'd like to know when it's from, what the context.
This was from,
because it looks not recent.
Well, she looks like she's in her goth phase right now. It doesn't specify, but this just dropped actually a few hours ago. So yeah.
Interesting. Because they're not wrestling with aid right this minute. So obviously is this, I don't even think she looks like this right now to say this is from the most recent vote.
Do you think there should be conditions on the aid the United States sends to Jerusalem and Tel Aviv?
Absolutely not. I'm not.
That's it. That's all you need to hear.